Get ready, the NBA season is heating up, and we've got the inside scoop on all the drama. Miles McBride's injury has the Knicks reeling, and Knicks coach Mike Brown is feeling the pressure after a tough admission about his player's setback. But is there a bigger trade shockwave coming? We're diving deep into the Mikal Bridges trade and how potential NBA lottery reforms could cost the Knicks even more than they initially thought. Meanwhile, the Knicks are fighting for playoff positioning. We'll break down why they might actually want the 4 seed over the 2 seed in the East, and what that means for their playoff path. And finally, we're dissecting the biggest weaknesses for every top NBA contender as the playoffs loom. Who has the kryptonite that could send them home early? You don't want to miss this. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss a single update.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the PopSockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Knicks Mike Brown admits injury woes. Knicks fans were ecstatic to see Miles McBride back on the court after his long recovery from sports hernia surgery. McBride, a defensive linchpin for the team earlier in the season, was crucial in establishing their defensive identity. His absence had even necessitated a trade for Jose Alvarado, but truly, no one could replicate McBride's impact. However, his return was short-lived. During Sunday night's 111-100 loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder, McBride was forced to leave the game early with an undisclosed injury following a collision with Lou Dort. This premature exit sent shockwaves of concern through the Knicks fanbase. Post-game, a visibly frustrated Knicks head coach Mike Brown didn't mince words about the unfortunate turn of events. Having watched his player dedicate months to rehabilitation only to have his comeback cut short, Brown expressed his dismay. "I haven't talked to medical yet, so I don't know how it is. It's tough. He worked his tail off to be back," Brown stated, as reported by James L. Edwards III of The Athletic. It remains unclear whether McBride re-aggravated a previous injury or sustained a new one. McBride may not be a flashy scorer, but his impact on the court is undeniable. His disruptive defense and relentless energy set the tone for the Knicks. Advanced stats highlight his importance, with the team boasting a nearly +11 net rating when he's on the floor compared to just +6 when he's off, according to PBP stats. His health is paramount for the Knicks' postseason aspirations, though his current status is uncertain. Will this injury derail the Knicks' championship hopes? We'll also explore if a blockbuster trade could be costing the Knicks even more than they bargained for. Knicks' trade for Mikal Bridges could cost more than expected. The New York Knicks made a significant move by trading away 6 first-round picks to acquire Mikal Bridges, a decision that carried the implicit understanding that the value of future selections could escalate. Now, with the NBA reportedly considering major changes to its draft lottery system, the cost of that megadeal might become astronomically higher. Sources revealed to ESPN's Shams Charania that the league has presented 3 anti-tanking proposals to its board of governors. These potential reforms aim to expand the draft lottery to include between 18 and 22 teams, a substantial increase from the current 14. This expansion could dramatically inflate the value of the draft picks the Knicks owe to the Brooklyn Nets in 2027, 2028 swap, 2029, and 2031. One particular proposal stands out as potentially detrimental to the Knicks. Under the first scenario, 18 teams would be included in the lottery, the bottom 10 non-playoff teams, and the 8 play-in tournament qualifiers. The bottom 10 would each have an equal 8% chance of moving up, with the remaining 20% of the odds distributed among the play-in teams. Crucially, all 18 lottery spots would be determined by the drawing. This means that if the Knicks finish as the 7th seed or lower in a season where they owe Brooklyn a pick, they could potentially send a top 5, or even the number 1 overall pick, to the Nets. Even a single mediocre season could result in a catastrophic loss of draft capital. For example, if the Knicks are a play-in team and the 20% of odds are distributed evenly among the 8 play-in teams, they could have a nearly 12% chance of giving up a top 5 pick. While the Knicks' core players are in their prime and largely under contract, their championship aspirations are being measured against a title or bust standard. Should they fall short, the consequences of this trade could be amplified. Even if they manage their roster well, competitive cycles can shift, and those future picks could still be at risk of conveying as cornerstone prospects. The Knicks likely understood they were overpaying for Bridges, and that the trade might impact their long-term flexibility. However, the potential consequences under these proposed lottery reforms may far exceed their original calculations, making the Mikal Bridges trade look significantly worse in hindsight. Could this trade have even more dire consequences down the line? Stay tuned as we break down the Knicks' playoff seeding strategy and whether they're eyeing a specific spot in the Eastern Conference. Knicks' playoff seed strategy, the 4-seed advantage. Despite a strong performance against the reigning champions, the New York Knicks fell to the Oklahoma City Thunder, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander sealing the win in the final minutes. This 111-100 loss, coupled with the Celtics' victory, saw the Knicks lose a full game on Boston for the number 2 seed. Now trailing Boston by 2.5 games with only 7 games remaining, the Knicks face an uphill battle to secure the second spot. Basketball Reference's projections now give Boston an even higher chance of clinching the number 2 seed, making it a difficult task for New York to catch them. However, the focus may now shift to securing the 3rd or 4th seed. The Knicks hold a 1.5-game lead over the Cleveland Cavaliers for the 3rd seed. With Cleveland having a seemingly easier schedule to close out the season, a crucial question arises. Is it more advantageous for the Knicks to hold onto the 3rd seed or strategically drop to the 4th? This strategic decision carries significant playoff implications. While the Knicks have struggled against the Detroit Pistons this season, losing all 3 matchups by an average of 28 points, the possibility of facing the Pistons in the second round might be preferable to a potential rematch with the Boston Celtics, especially if Boston is seeking revenge. Furthermore, a 4th seed position could lead to a more favorable first-round opponent. Teams like the Toronto Raptors or the Philadelphia 76ers, who are currently in lower playoff seeds, could present a more manageable matchup than the Celtics. History, however, suggests that higher seeds generally fare better in the playoffs, with a significant majority of NBA champions coming from the top 2 seeds. Only one team since 1984, the 1994-95 Houston Rockets, seeded 6th, has won the NBA Finals. The 1968-69 Celtics remain the only number 4 seed to capture a championship. The Eastern Conference playoff bracket appears particularly unpredictable this year, and the Knicks' seeding decision could prove pivotal. Could the Knicks' playoff path be more strategic than we think? We're also diving into the biggest weaknesses of every top NBA contender heading into the postseason. NBA playoff kryptonite, unpacking top teams' biggest weaknesses. As the NBA playoffs approach, the landscape is set, but every contender harbors a hidden vulnerability that could derail their championship aspirations. From the Detroit Pistons' struggles with 3-point shooting to the Boston Celtics' surprisingly low fast break scoring, we're dissecting the critical weaknesses that could define the postseason. The Pistons, despite clinching a playoff berth, rank near the bottom in 3-point attempts and makes, relying heavily on defense and Cade Cunningham's playmaking. Their lack of perimeter shooting makes them a potential target for teams like the Knicks and Celtics, who excel at forcing opponents into long-range shots. The Boston Celtics, while a top contender, rank last in fast break points per game. This reliance on half-court execution could be exploited by teams with strong half-court defense, like the Pistons. For the New York Knicks, the primary concern is bench scoring. Their starters log heavy minutes, leaving the bench unit averaging a mere 31.2 points per game, ranking 28th in the league. This lack of offensive depth could be a significant issue, especially against teams with potent bench units like the Miami Heat. In the Western Conference, the San Antonio Spurs, despite their impressive early leads, have struggled to close out games, losing 13 games when leading by 10 points or more. This inability to finish could be their undoing against clutch teams like the Los Angeles Lakers. The Oklahoma City Thunder, a top contender, surprisingly struggle with defending the corner three-pointer, giving up a league-worst 4.6 made corner threes per game. This could be a critical flaw against teams adept at exploiting that specific area of the court, like the Spurs. Each team's kryptonite has been identified, with analysts pinpointing specific opponents best positioned to exploit these weaknesses. From the Timberwolves' bench production issues to the Lakers' lack of rim protection, the path to the NBA Finals is fraught with potential pitfalls. Can these weaknesses be overcome in the high-stakes playoffs? And we're wrapping up with a lightning round recap of all the top stories and a full call to action. And that's a wrap on today's NBA Breakdown. We saw Miles McBride's injury impact the Knicks, explored the potential hidden costs of the Mikal Bridges trade, analyzed the Knicks' strategic seeding options, and dissected the biggest weaknesses of every top NBA contender. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more in-depth NBA analysis, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and follow us on all social media platforms for real-time updates and behind-the-scenes content.